Action.
Good morning. I am Rajan Jaykar, a very proud member of the Pathare Prabhu community. Pathare Prabhu community, you must be aware, is a very old community and old residents of Bombay. We came almost about 800 years to these Bombay islands from Gujarat, from Kathiawad, Marwad, and finally from Devgiri. So we are the first immigrants to Bombay, and we have been staying there. We do आम्हाला कोणाचं गाव वगैरे काही नाही आहे. We are the local residents of Bombay. With such rich history of our community as well as the Bombay city, both of them run very parallel. Particularly, Pathare Prabhus are known for nice food, art, culture, heritage. So, Pathare Prabhus had lot of exhibitions which were done in 1909, 1926, and 1938. Thereafter, there was no serious attempt made by the community to showcase their heritage. I thought it that as a collector of artifacts and particularly collectors of kitchenware of Pathare Prabhus, I thought I should do something so that the future generation know exactly what is the cultural heritage which is still available. At the same time, I am a collector of the visual material, which are supposed to be the pictorial material, which I assembled over a period of time. And I feel that that also should be shown in a small way. Now, this particular exhibition was thought about more than 6 months ago, but it took quite some time for it to be organized. The images had to be improved. The artifacts that you see, which are absolutely in stunning condition, they had to be buffed and everything had to be put in together. So this is a small attempt. Although I got more artifacts which can cover the entire hall, it is very difficult to transport all these things from Bombay to Lonavala. So whatever was possible, whatever would be intriguing for the people, not only of the Pathare Prabhus who will visit this exhibition, but for public in general, I decided that I will make an exhibition. I'll give them little titles also so that they can identify what these artifacts were used for, and at the same time showed a little bit of the culture of Pathare Prabhus through visual material. You will notice in this exhibition that there are a lot of panels which show the Rangoli part of the Pathare Prabhus, and that is something which even is done today, and it is very surprising that people are not aware that the Rangoli in those days was done on surface, on water, and underwater. So I think it was a fulfilling experience, and whenever we do the festival again, I'm sure we will do it in a very bigger way, hopefully somewhere near Bombay, so that the transporting and taking the trouble of bringing everything can be reduced, and it will be on a large scale. Thank you.
From Bombay, and they use the light, yes, because the bags, the bags, the little children who had come for the dance performance.
Monday सत्कारणी लागली.
100%.
Yeah. Hello. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. God's grace.
Yeah. काय प्रोग्राम छान चाललाय. She is always like that.
She's a powerful influencer also, let me tell you. So we go behind people in the market, you're an influencer. I think we have an influencer right here at home.
And no paisa gheta ka.
The facility is also it comes across as a very wonderful place. Photographer.
इंद्रायणी करूया आणि बन्सी क्रीम, बन्सी was available with सुरेखा आणखी they were wonderful. आता मी 2 मिनिटं थांबून सगळे
पुन्हा कनेक्ट होऊच आणि ते आपल्याला नक्कीच आपल्या आरोग्याविषयी महत्त्वाच्या टिप्स देतीलच की ज्यांनी आमिर खान सारख्या सेलिब्रिटीजना कंट्रोल केले असंच मी म्हणेन आज. म्हणजे त्यांना जेव्हा जाडं व्हायचं होतं तेव्हा ते राजन जयकर यांनी आपल्या पूर्वीची जी काही आपल्या स्वयंपाकाला लागणारी साधनं म्हणा किंवा बायकांची साधनांचं छान कलेक्शन आहे.
Alright. नमस्कार. थँक्यू व्हेरी मच. इतका सगळा मी बघतोय तिकडे. मला आता असं वाटतं की मी तिकडे असतो तर किती बरं झालं असतं. इट्स व्हेरी टेम्पटिंग आणि थँक्स फॉर दिस ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी. ही संधी दिल्याबद्दल आभार. सो माझ्या मनात विचार होता की आम्ही मुख्य म्हणजे माझी मावशी केतकी जयकर आणि राजन जयकर यांचं आणि या एफर्टमध्ये सहभागी झालेल्या सर्वांचं मला म्हणजे खरोखर मनापासून अभिनंदन आणि कौतुक करावं असं वाटतं की एवढा सगळ्या वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारे ज्याच्यामध्ये गोष्टी आहेत कला आपलं कल्चर आपले खाद्य पदार्थ आणि वेगवेगळ्या टॅलेंट्स सो दॅट इज रिअली अ नाईस वे ऑफ पुलिंग थिंग्स टुगेदर आय रिअली अप्रिशिएट इट सो मला जो विषय दिला आहे माझ्या आवडीचा विषय आहे डाएट आणि लठ्ठपणा किंवा ओबेसिटीवरती विचार I'm going to share my thoughts. आणि सो मी ह्या विषयामध्ये गेले 40 वर्ष I have plenty of thoughts I have gathered in last 40 years. So from 1983 when I started practice for obesity in Bombay with my father. It's been more than 40 years. So my thought was I would like to share with you just a few thoughts about obesity first as I see it. And then I would love to have some conversation with all of you. If you have any questions, any doubts, any myths, I would mention that it is very hard for me to give individual consultation in this format. Like if you say that my weight is 90 kilos and what should I do to make it 85 kilos, it's a little harder for me because it's very personalized. But other than that, if you have any questions, I would love to answer or discuss with you or share my thoughts. So I hope that's okay with you all. And just to get started, one of the most favorite things that I like to share with people is that obesity is not what you think. Obesity is not laziness. Obesity is not greediness. Obesity is not lack of willpower. Obesity is a condition just like diabetes, just like high blood pressure, just like any other chronic condition. Obesity is a disease. Now, I know that we don't recognize it as a disease, many of us don't. Suppose somebody gains weight. What is the first thing you think of? First thing you think of is either I will go to a gym, maybe I should be going to a gym to lose weight, or I should talk with my friend and find out how. This is our response in general to somebody gaining weight, right? Now think about this slightly differently. If somebody gets diabetes or somebody gets cancer, you don't run to your friend or family to ask, hey, what should I do? So and so is detected with cancer. You go to the doctor. You go to the expert in that field for treatment. And that is exactly what obesity requires. Unfortunately, not everybody, even many medical professionals, may know how to treat obesity. And I want to give you 2 examples here. When I started practice way back in 1983, actually there was a patient I saw. I was doing physical exam on her for weight loss. She had come for weight loss. And I saw blue and black marks on her side and back. And it looked like she has been beaten up. And I was wondering what that was. I was very just out of med school and just started practicing. I had never seen that kind of appearance. So I asked this person what that was, and she said, you know that other doctor, this is her treatment for weight loss. And I didn't understand for a second. Then she explained that so and so other MD, she beats people with a cricket bat. And she beats people with a cricket bat because she has to first break that fat down into pieces, and only then she can lose weight. That was her treatment. And that's what it sounded to me. that it was what a terrible way. It was really, I felt very sad for that woman who was enduring this. And I felt that it was people get so desperate, and rightfully so, that they are not able to lose weight, that they take any of these type of approaches as real approach with the hope that it will work for them. Another example I want to give you, there is a soap, by the way. I have seen advertisement of a soap. There is a soap that you use that soap, stand under the shower, and the soap is supposed to melt your fat away. Yeah, it doesn't happen. So please don't buy that soap. Yeah, and your bathroom floor may become waxy, if any. So there are such treatments that are suggested because people don't seem to get the right direction, right treatment. So in that direction, let me also mention what else does not work. For weight loss, now let me say this carefully. For weight loss, exercise does not help to lose weight. Exercise has multiple benefits. Exercise is good for your heart, exercise is good for your lungs, good for stamina, good for your preventing or improving diabetes. Exercise is good for making your muscles big, but exercise alone will not help you lose weight. You have to eat fewer calories than your requirement. That is the diet part. And then accompany that with some exercise, and that may help you overall. But if you think that all I'm going to do is going to the gym, going to work out, and that's going to make me slim, that is not going to happen. That does not happen. Let me say a couple of more things, and then I will stop, and then we can discuss. The other thing is, there is nothing wrong, there is no shame in taking the appropriate medication to lose weight if one needs to. Generally, people don't mind, again, let's go back to diabetes. If one gets diabetes, you will happily take medication for it. If you get high blood pressure, you will take medication for it. You have no problem about that, and it's rightfully so. But if you have to lose weight and a doctor suggests to you take a medication, there are reservations. Sometimes doctors have reservations about using medications for weight loss, and we can talk more about it in discussion. But if somebody needs medication, that medication is going to help them, empower them, stick to the diet. So diet is the critical part, but it is very hard to stick to a diet that is making you eat less than your requirement. So therefore those medications come handy, and they allow you to stick to a diet that is going to be, that's going to help you lose weight. And a good example would be, suppose if I tell you that you need to drink, instead of 2 liters of water that we are asked to drink in a day, you should be drinking only 1 liter of water. That's too much. 2 liters is too much. Start drinking only 1 liter. Or if you're breathing, so our medically speaking, we breathe about 18 times a minute. So if I say that you've been breathing too much, start breathing only 10 times a minute. Breathe less than what you should be breathing. It's not that you cannot do it. How long will you do it is the question. Maybe you will be able to do it for a minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes, breathing less. But if you are asked to do that day after day, week after week, month after month, it will not be possible. Same way, it is very unnatural to go on a diet. I have been giving diet to people for 40 years. But I still would say that it is very unnatural act to tell somebody to eat less than what they need. Just like it is unnatural to tell them to breathe less than they need. to drink less than they need, it is also unnatural to tell somebody to eat less than what they need in a day. It is possible for a day or two, but if you are expecting somebody to follow a diet month after month, year after year, that's where the problem is. And that's why those medications at times help. Now, one last thing about medication. Not all medications under the sun are good. There are some medications that may be dangerous, but I am only referring to here as needed, could be used. Just like any medication has side effects, the risk, excuse me, and generally it is not given the medication. Yet one has to consider that there is a disadvantage, there is a risk of not losing weight also. So instead of not losing weight, you are taking a calculated risk of taking a medication to lose weight. So, but it's not that one has to take medication. I'm just covering all aspects. First, I wanted to mention a little bit about obesity, the serious disease. Second, I wanted to mention that exercise alone will not help you lose weight. You need a diet and exercise combination. And at times, medication may also be useful to lose weight. So let me stop here, and I would really be eager to know if you have any questions, we can discuss them more.
ओके मला विचारायचं होतं व्हॉट इज युअर टेक ऑन सेमिग्लुटाईड्स. सो बेसिकली मला असं कोणीतरी रेकमेंड केलं होतं की त्यांनी शुगर पण तुझं कंट्रोल होईल, कोलेस्ट्रॉल पण होईल आणि नॉशिया येतो, वॉट एव्हर भूक लागत नाही आणि ऑटोमॅटिकली इट हेल्प्स इन वेट लॉस ऑल्सो. सो आय वॉन्टेड टू नो व्हॉट इज युअर टेक ऑन सेमिग्लुटाईड्स प्लीज. थँक्यू.
Very good question. Semaglutide is one of the newer drugs for, first it was given for diabetes, then for obesity, weight loss. So it's a very good drug. There are some other drugs, they are in a category called GLP-1 receptor agonist. So semaglutide is one of those drugs in that category, and it does help very well people in losing weight. Another drug is called tirzepatide, and a third one is called liraglutide. So there are three drugs in the same category. You don't lose weight because of nausea. Nausea is initial side effect, or any diarrhea. Those are very initial side effects. They generally go away after you continue the drug. Semaglutide is an injection in once a week, to be taken once a week. And so as you start taking the dose, your side effects start kind of becoming less, and you tend to lose weight. It does improve your glucose level, blood sugar level also. One thing that I want to mention, that studies recently have shown that taking semaglutide or other drugs that I mentioned in that class of drugs, people tend to lose protein from your body, muscle from the body, if your diet is not right. So let me explain just a second what I mean by protein. So when we lose weight, weight is a term that includes losing fat, losing muscle, losing bone, and losing water. Your weighing scale will not be able to differentiate what you lost. You lost weight. You lost 5 kilos or you lost 10 kilos, but 10 kilos of what? So was it fat? Was it muscle? Was it bone? Was it water? All those things are important, because what you really want to lose is fat, right? You're trying to get rid of excess fat. You don't want to lose muscle. You don't want to lose bone. So one has to be careful about that. And we can talk later about how we can detect whether you're losing muscle or fat. In a second, we can talk about that. But so you don't want to lose as much muscle. You want to lose as little muscle as possible. And semaglutide tends to increase that muscle loss along with fat loss. You lose fat, but you lose muscle. And to counter that, one has to drink mutton, or at least in non-vegetarian category, or at least dal, usal, turi, moog, radhanya, watani, harbari, so in vegetarian class. So you want to take more of that protein, and especially try to take it in an equal manner throughout the day. Meaning, संध्याकाळी फक्त रात्री if you eat mutton or fish and दिवसभर you protein नाही घेतलं तर that's not going to be useful. I would recommend that we take equal portion of proteins. Either you can even take protein powder or protein bars, protein shakes, if you don't want to take any of these non-veg or vegetarian proteins. But take it in equal proportion, equal before lunch, sometime mid-morning, then for lunch, and then for dinner. If you take equal amount throughout the day, spread it throughout the day in equal quantity, and take right amount, then you will minimize muscle loss and you will maximize loss of fat. So that is one caution, or that's one thing that one needs to remember when taking a drug like semaglutide. The other things, okay, please go ahead. I can see you, there is a question.
Since you mentioned protein, I just wanted to ask how safe is it to consume whey protein? I mean, at maybe during your post your 45 or 50 years of age, is it safe to have whey protein?
There is no particular risk associated with whey protein unless somebody is allergic to it or something. Other than that, there is no reason why one needs to avoid whey protein.
All right, thank you.
We have thyroid as a very common ailment today in India. Every third or fourth person is supposed to be detected with thyroid, mostly hypothyroid. I have hypothyroid, and I'm consuming my daily dose in the morning for maybe over 20 years now. And over a period of time, I have gained maybe about 20-25 kgs, and somehow I'm not able to drop it. Maybe it goes down by a few kgs, and again I'm back there. What would you recommend? How does one go about something like that?
Sure. So let me explain. Just to be sure everybody is on the same page, let me explain about thyroid. Thyroid is a gland that secretes thyroid hormone, and if that hormone secretion becomes more, our metabolic rate increases and you lose weight. If the secretion becomes less of thyroid, which is called hypothyroidism, as you mentioned, then our metabolic rate slows down and it becomes easier to gain weight. And by that, let me explain just a second. Suppose our requirement of calories in a day is 2000 calories. If you take a diet of 2000 calories and your requirement is 2000 calories, you will not gain weight, you will maintain weight. But what thyroid deficiency, lack of thyroid hormone does, is reduces less thyroid hormone, and it reduces your metabolic requirement from 2000 calories to, let's say, 1500 calories. So you started requiring fewer calories. So you're not really eating more, you may be eating what you need. As you thought it was 2000 calories, here is what you're eating, but your requirement is less now. So that's why these calories become surplus, and then one gains weight. That is a typical situation in case of hypothyroidism. So one can fix thyroid level by taking thyroid drug, but generally those people, in my experience, those people who do have less thyroid because of the phenomena that I just explained, they do find it hard to lose weight, and it's much easier to gain weight than and much harder to lose weight. So, and that's mainly because it is driven by that decrease in calorie requirement. One or two things that come to my mind in general, I can't give a specific advice, but in general, one or two things that come to my mind. And one is to increase calorie requirement by increasing exercise. So this is only as a supplement, it's not a substitute. But to increase calorie requirement by increasing exercise, if one doesn't have any other issues like joint pains or backache or something, I would recommend about something like 10,000 steps a day. That is 5 miles or 8 kilometers. Total activity in a day. That would help. That level of activity, because when I say you increase activity, it doesn't mean just take one more round, like a 1 kilometer. It has to be substantial. So about total activity, 8 kilometers a day or 5 miles, that would help. But that's just one aspect in addressing thyroid. The other aspect is perhaps use any of these new obesity medications, because they are going to help you eat less, that you need to eat less because of thyroid hormone. So there would be a combination of things one would do. But as such, it is not easy to lose weight. As such, it's not easy to lose weight, period. But it's not even more so if you have hypothyroidism. But it is possible that we have patients all the time, those who are hypothyroid, have hypothyroidism, they can lose weight. It's not like we need to turn them away. It's possible to lose weight.
खायला घातलेला आहे चिक्का सगळ्यांनी ती मजबूत खाल्ले भुजबळ भात तर काय बोलूच नको. आता एवढं खाल्ल्यानंतर जर आम्ही मुंबईला जाऊन उद्या सोमवारचा एक दिवस उपास केला तर आमचं काय कमी होईल का वजन?
होईल. जेवढं वाढलेलं आहे ते सगळं कमी होईल एका दिवसामध्ये. येस. हा. So, no, there is something to be said about this, okay? So, there is something called quality of life, right? Strictly speaking, if we are just living on a mountain top, not living in society, all these things perhaps are easier, but life gets in the way. When we live in society, there are things that happen. There are things that you have to have social commitments. You have to go out for a party or go out of town or meet people. All those things are real. So I wanted to, this gives me an opening to introduce, share with you another concept that is called lapse. When you start a diet, your diet is going great, and so Monday you started, you followed it for 1 week, and then it so happens that lagnaचा आमंत्रण किंवा बाहेरगावी जायचं आहे, you want to go for this beyond Lonavala, attend beyond Lonavala function or what have you. So then you go there, and then sometimes people feel so sad about it. So they feel that I was doing it so well, I was dieting so well, I did it for a week or 2 weeks, and look at me. I just blew it. I could not follow it. I don't have willpower, and so on and so forth. That's a lapse in your diet, leads to this kind of repenting, and that leads to relapse. Lapse goes to relapse. And because of relapse, you say, forget it, I'm not going to diet anymore. And diet goes out of the window, and that leads to collapse of the whole program. So lapse, relapse, and collapse. So to avoid that, the best approach mentally is to say that, okay, this is how it is, these are the rules of the game, I live in a society, I am functioning in a society, I am going to encounter these things time and again. Let me diet, let me follow a diet when I can, and if I'm not able to follow for a day or two, once I resume, once I come home, once I come back, I'm going to start again and not worry about what happened. You enjoyed in Lonavala, keep it, hold on to that. So, and then get back to your diet and start your diet again. So I think that is much better approach than feeling, Balamishi, that's not a question, you did not ask that question, but that kind of got me thinking that I need to mention this important concept as well.
बरं आता मला सांग की आता बघू आपण भुजणं भात खाणारच तर तू ते आणि काट्याचं भुजणं 1 टीस्पून तेलामध्ये होऊ शकत नाही. काट्याचं भुजणं 1 टीस्पून तेलात होऊ शकत नाही. तर मग आपण परबू आहोत तर आपण भुजणं तर खाणारच. तर हा वॉट बोलूस कारण तू पण भुजलं भात खाऊनच मोठं आलेलं आहेस आणि तळलेले पंगोची खाऊन मोठं आलेस. सो यू टेल अस हाऊ डू वी जगल दिस.
So tail is not under our control. I mean, I understand what you're saying, oily food, but the portions are under our control. How much we should eat, that one can control. You see, there are some things when somebody is dieting to lose weight. There are some things that one can eat, जे पोट भरायला, जे आपण म्हणतो पोट भरायला खायला, आणि दुसऱ्या ज्या गोष्टी आहेत त्या चवीसाठी खायच्या, टेस्ट फॉर सेक ऑफ दॅट टेस्ट. सो ज्या पंगोजी, यू सेड पंगोजी, if I am dieting, I don't have to not eat pangoji, but I don't have to eat 10 pangojis either, right? So I can eat smaller portions of that, and to fill my stomach I eat something else. ज्याच्यामध्ये प्युअर कॅलरीज आहे, भात आहे म्हणा किंवा भाजी आहे, सॅलड आहे, ऑल दोज थिंग्स, चपाती आहे. सो ऑल दोज थिंग्स त्या पोट भरण्यासाठी, व्हाईल यू आर डायटिंग, त्या पोट भरण्यासाठी, आणि बाकीच्या गोष्टी चवीसाठी. That's the balance one can strike.
People say don't consume wheat anymore, have maybe multigrain or go back to your jwari, bajra and stuff. So what is your take on that?
Asking that. So there are certain conditions of our intestines, आतड्याच्या, लहान आणि मोठ्या आतड्याच्या certain conditions आहे. Some of them you may have heard, ulcerative colitis, for example. So those who have that condition may get those conditions aggravated by eating certain grains like wheat. But people are nowadays lumping all that and saying that wheat is bad for everyone, which is not the case, which is not true. Wheat is like saying if you have peanut allergy, शेंगदाण्याची allergy आहे, तर शेंगदाणे खाऊ नका. That doesn't mean all people need to stop शेंगदाणे. Those who have allergy should stop शेंगदाण्याची allergy असेल तर. पण सगळ्यांनी बंद करायला नको. So same way, there are very few people who are susceptible to that damage, their intestine, those who have that condition. And they should not eat that. But that doesn't mean all other people who have no relationship, no such condition should stop, go and switch to other stuff.
Effect, consumption, you drink whiskey or rum or whatever, so in moderation, does it have any effect on obesity?
Okay, so let me explain in what ways it may have effect. So alcohol by itself has calories. Okay, so let's say, just for example, for understanding, every gram of sugar has 4 calories. That is carbohydrate. Every gram of protein has 4 calories. Every gram of fat, which is oil, tube, has 9 calories per gram. Okay? So 4 calories in carbohydrate, 4 calories in protein, and 9 calories per gram in fat, oil, tube, etc. Alcohol has 7 calories per gram. So alcohol has calories on the higher side. But that's not where the issue. Third and most important is what you eat along with that alcohol. And generally people are not just drinking alcohol, right? There is shengdana, there is bhaje, there is some other fried food, fried shrimp or what have you. So they बाजूला जे ठेवलेलं असते जे अल्कोहोल बरोबर ड्रिंक्स बरोबर जे घेतलं जातं, that has way more calories than alcohol itself. So in fact I had a patient here in Dallas area, आमच्याकडे टेक्सासमध्ये, and I was talking with him on telemedicine for his treatment, and he used this strange construction of sentence. He said that I have a glass of wine with my pistachios. Generally we say it the other way, right? I have pistachios with my glass of wine. Turns out that every evening this guy comes home and eat pistachios with his drink, and it was 900 calories of pistachios he was eating just in the evening with his drink. Forget about drink. Drink wouldn't have more than 150 calories that he was taking, but he was taking 900 calories of pistachios. So this is how it can affect. These are the different ways it can affect your calorie intake.
Okay.
Last question. Yeah. ब्राऊन ब्रेड खा किंवा मल्टीग्रेन ब्रेड खा, व्हाईट ब्रेड नका खाऊ असं खूप ऐकायला येतं आजकाल. सो त्याच्याबद्दल काही सांगू शकाल का?
I think there is no harm in eating any of this bread. There is no difference.
ओके, थँक्यू.
Yeah.
तुमच्या मते, तुम्ही आमचे मार्गदर्शक आहात हेल्थच्या दृष्टिकोनातून, तुमच्या मते सकाळच्या ब्रेकफास्टपासून रात्रीच्या डिनरपर्यंत आपण काय काय खावं, म्हणजे असं जनरली असं तुम्ही आम्हाला मार्गदर्शन कराल, असं काय आम्ही घ्यायला पाहिजे, म्हणजे ब्रेकफास्टमध्ये काय असावं?
2500 असेल, कोणाची 1800 असेल. त्यामुळे आणि ते एक झालं कॅलरी रिक्वायरमेंट ही एक गोष्ट झाली. दुसरे म्हणजे प्रत्येकाचे हेल्थ वेगवेगळे असते. कोणाला डायबिटीज असेल, कोणाला प्री डायबिटीज असेल, कोणाचं वजन जास्त असेल, कोणाचं वजन कमी असेल, कोणाला एनिमिया असेल, तर किंवा कोणाचं ब्लड प्रेशर जास्त असेल तर त्यांना सोडियम किती खावं, मीठ किती खावं. सो ह्या वेगवेगळ्या एवढ्या वेगवेगळ्या गोष्टी आहेत की असं एक जनरल सगळ्यांनी काय खावं असं सांगणं खूप कठीण आहे. आणि एस्पेशली मला, म्हणजे मी प्रत्येक पेशंट बरोबर मी बसून मी डिस्कस करतो 1 तास. आम्ही म्हणजे
प्रत्येकाच्या हेल्थनुसार तुम्ही मार्गदर्शन,
कोणाला काय ॲनिमिया असेल म्हणजे रक्त कमी असेल समजा, ॲनिमियामध्ये सुद्धा प्रकार आहेत. कोणाला आयर्न डिफिशियन्सीच्यामुळे ॲनिमिया असू शकतो, तर कोणाला व्हायटमिन बीच्या डेफिशियन्सीमुळे ॲनिमिया असू शकतो. तर ज्याला आयर्न डिफिशियन्सी असेल तर त्याला आयर्न मिळेल फूडमधून, अशा वेगवेगळ्या गोष्टी सांगतो. आयर्न मिळायची एक ट्रिक सांगतो, आता लक्षात आली म्हणलं की आपण जर भाज्या ज्या असतात ना, म्हणजे पालक वगैरे भाजीमध्ये आयर्न असते, तर ते आपल्याला सहजासहजी मिळत नाही आयर्न. त्याच्यात ते मिळण्यासाठी इझी वे ऑफ गेटिंग मोर आयर्न आउट ऑफ फूड इज आपण लिंबू पिळायचं म्हणजे भाजीवरती, तर त्या भाजीमध्ये जे आयर्न असते ते जास्त अवेलेबल होते. But anyway, so that is if somebody has iron deficiency. So vitamin B deficiency असेल तर जनरली व्हेजिटेरियन लोकांमध्ये जास्त त्या डेफिशियन्सी होऊ शकते. सो नॉन व्हेज फूडमध्ये ते व्हायटमिन बी जे असते, B12 एस्पेशली, तर ते जास्त घ्यावं लागतं. तर अशा वेगवेगळ्या गोष्टी आहेत. कोणाचं कोलेस्ट्रॉल जास्त असेल तर जनरली ते पल्सेस जे आहेत, पल्सेस, डाळी, उसळी, मूग, कडधान्य ते खाल्ले तर कोलेस्ट्रॉल कमी होऊ शकतं. तर अशा प्रत्येकाला वेगवेगळी रेसिपी असू शकेल, म्हणजे डाएटची कॉम्पोजिशन. त्यामुळे इट इज व्हेरी हार्ड टू से दिस इज व्हॉट एव्हरीबडी शुड ईट फॉर मी टू से दॅट. Overall, what I would say, just one thing that in general is one has to have adequate amount of protein, and from Indian point of view, adequate amount of calcium. So, because if we don't take adequate calcium, adequate vitamin D, if we don't have vitamin D, so vitamin D चा रोल असा असतो की आपण जे जेवणात कॅल्शियम येते ते आपल्या ब्लडमध्ये आलं का व्हायटमिन डी कॅप्चर्स इट अँड फॉर द मोस्ट पार्ट सेंड्स इट टू द बोन. आणि इंडियामध्ये स्पेशली ऑस्टिओपोरोसिस, बोन्स ब्रिटल होणं ते खूप होतं. त्यामुळे आणि बोन ब्रिटल होण्याचं जे आहे ते एकदा वन्स यू लूज बोन इट इज हार्ड टू बिल्ड दॅट बोन. सो precautions to take are before you start losing bone. You don't want to lose bone or you want to minimize losing bone. So having calcium and vitamin D in general is a good idea. Same with protein, having good amount of protein. I am not advocating for high protein diet. Adequate protein is required. And many times Indian diet is deficient in adequate amount of protein. Many times local upas kartat, for religious reasons, so you are not eating. Maybe spiritually that's a good thing, but physiologically your body needs all these nutrients every day. Body needs vitamins, body needs minerals, carbohydrate, protein, fat. All these are required by the body on a daily basis. Body has only one person to go to, one source to go to, one source to depend on for all these, and that is you. If you don't give that body the things that it needs every day and expect the body to function well, that's not going to happen. So, in general, this is all I can say is these are some few things, but it is very hard for me to give very specific recipe. Two things, 2 points. One, just like oil, ghee has same number of calories. So it is like thinking that if I eat 10 teaspoons of oil to lose weight, it's not going to happen because you're taking in more extra calories. That's one point. Second point, there is something called CLA, conjugated linoleic acid. And when I came to US, CLA was studied extensively in the United States. In fact, I was involved in early trials of CLA in people. My university had the CLA research started in this direction, and the effect of that that CLA on weight is very, very, very tiny. So really, in animal studies, it's a big effect. And when you do animal experiments with CLA, there is a huge effect. In humans, negligible, almost nothing. So it is not that effect of weight loss is not compensating for the number of calories it has into. So it's really not. It didn't turn out to be what we would have thought. So those are the 2 aspects that I would like to mention in response. Without naming a supplement, it's much easier for me to say what one can take. The protein, that is whether it is derived from green peas, it is derived from whey protein, milk, any component of milk. As long as it's just protein, it would be pretty much safe. But not every single person, but for most people. But now if you add something to it, then it's anybody's guess. Depends on what is added to it. What is added to it. So I won't be able to say whether it is safe or not. But just by itself, any protein, it's a whey protein, any animal protein. For example, if you have gout, then uric acid levels are high, and then one has to maybe control, excuse me, amount of protein you eat. But other than that, it should be okay. Just the protein by itself.
सर थँक्स मला थँक्स बोला मी कोणाच चालू
Hello.
Hello,
हा बोला.
Dr. Nikhil.
हा बोला.
Dr. Nikhil, I'm Anand Dharadhar. And I must sincerely thank you these days, especially after the COVID, people have become health conscious. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Not very clearly. I didn't understand.
Now can you hear? Now can you hear?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. No, especially after COVID, all the people have become very health conscious. So your guidance on the diet is extremely important, and it was excellent. Pima, thank you for your guidance, and we appreciate your guidance further. But we don't know. Maybe we can individually contact you at some point of time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll be happy to answer whatever I can.
Okay, then certainly we will try and contact you individually. Let me thank you once again for your time that you have spent with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Nikhil, this was our chairman of our Pathare Prabhu Festival, Mr. Anand Dharadhar, and he has, his wife who recently passed away, he has set up this whole festival, and he is the chairman, and he is the spirit behind this. And thank you once again. Nita, can I close it? Nikhil, तुझ्यामुळे मी भुजला भात बियॉन्ड भुजला भात केलं, बिकॉज इट वॉज युअर आयडिया की नुसत्या ह्या मोठ्या प्राईज विनर्सला बोलून शेला श्रीफळ देऊ नकोस, तर त्यांना मेंटर करायला सांग. म्हणून yesterday and it was began with your sister भाग्यश्री. सळी दिलेली आहेसच, सगळं झालेलं आहे, आता साडी सोय द्यायला पाहिजे. येशील ना? ओके, थँक्यू.
व्हॉट नेक्स्ट? पॅशन असतं डोंगर चढायचं, पण व्हॉट नेक्स्ट? तर लोणावळ्यात एक टीम आहे ज्यांचं पॅशन आज ह्युमॅनिटीकडे गेलेलं आहे. म्हणजे लोक जातात आज लायन्स पॉईंटला सेल्फी घ्यायला, लोक जातात की काहीतरी झालं मला सुसाईड करायचं आहे, तो सुसाईड पॉईंट पण झालेला आहे. पण जेव्हा ते जातात खाली, त्याच्यानंतर त्यांना दरीतून कोण काढणार बाहेर? इवन पोलीस लोक नाही काढू शकत. लोणावळ्यात एक ऑर्गनायझेशन आहे जे निःशुल्क सेवा देतात आपल्या स्वतःच्या जीवाला धोक्यात घालून. ते आहे शिवदुर्ग. आपल्याकडे सुनील भाऊ आलेले आहेत त्यांच्या टीम बरोबर. सुनील भाऊ या. त्यांचा फोन 24 तास चालू असतो. 24 तास ते सर्व्हिस देतात विदाउट अ सिंगल रुपी. आपल्याकडे एकदा साप निघालेला, तर असे की सापाचं तर काय करायचं, कोण त्याला धरणार, भला मोठा होता. तर त्यांना कॉन्टॅक्ट केला. 7 का 8 मिनिटामध्ये त्यांचा माणूस आला, गपचूप गेला, त्याला उचललं, गोणीत टाकलं, पाठच्या गेटनी निघून गेला. थँक्यू पण बोलायचा वेळ नाही मिळाला. म्हणजे नॉट एक्सपेक्टिंग एनिथिंग.
नमस्कार, मी रोहित वर्तक. मी पण शिवदुर्गाचा सदस्य आहे. तर शिवदुर्ग मित्र गेली अनेक वर्ष काम करते, जवळपास 1980 पासून काम करते. आणि सुनील दादाचे बाबा, माझे बाबा, असे सगळ्या सिनियर्सनी मिळून हा ग्रुप फॉर्म केला होता. आणि मग पहिले ट्रेकिंग करायचे, नंतर मग हळूहळू सुनील दादा त्याच्यामध्ये आला, नेक्स्ट जनरेशन यायला लागली. आणि मग ते सुद्धा असेच गडांवर जायला लागले. तर एकदा असं आलं की हे सगळे सिनियर गेले होते एका गडावरती, रतनगड ला गेले होते. आणि तिकडे गेल्यानंतर स्वतः अडकले ते. आणि मग त्यांना असं जाणवलं की मग तिकडे अशा अनेक टीम येत असतील ज्या स्वतः अडकतात, मग त्यांना काढणारं कोण आहे. मग त्याच्यानंतर मग काय काय त्यासाठी टेक्निक लागतात, त्याचं शिक्षण केलं होतं हे सुनीलदादा आणि त्यांच्या मित्रांनी सगळ्यांनी शोधलं. आणि हे त्याच्यासाठी खोपोलीतला टीम यायची आपल्या इथे, आमचा लोण्यात असं कोण नव्हतं. आणि आता असं आलं की मग सिंधुदुर्ग त्याच्यामध्ये आल्यानंतर सगळे रेस्क्यू सिंधुदुर्गमध्ये करायला लागले. ऑलमोस्ट वर्षाला प्रत्येक विकेंड म्हणा सिंधुदुर्गचं बिझी असतं की काहीतरी कॉल येईल आणि असं काम चालू असतं. तर आणि नंतर पुन्हा त्यांना सोडून देतो. तर ॲनिमल रेस्क्यूचं काम चालू असतं. स्पोर्ट्समध्ये सुद्धा आहे रॉक क्लाइम्बिंग, बिकॉज रॉक क्लाइम्बिंग इंडियन म्हणून तर ते जगात ओळखले गेलेले आहेत. इंटरनॅशनल मॅगझिन्समध्ये म्हणजे मेन्शन झालेले आहेत. ते फिल्म्स दाखवलेत आपल्या इंटरनॅशनल लेवलला फ्रान्समध्ये किंवा. तर म्हणजे एव्हरेस्ट केल्यानंतर आपले तर एक हे असतं की एव्हरेस्ट एव्हरेस्ट एव्हरेस्ट, पण एव्हरेस्ट सगळं केलेलं आहे. पॉवर लिफ्टिंगमध्ये इंटरनॅशनल मेडल्स आहेत आपल्याकडे. अशोक मोते सर ते स्वतः इंटरनॅशनल पॉवर लिफ्टर आहेत, कोचिंग करतात आणि त्यांच्या अंडर खूप मुलं तयार झालेली आहेत. तर पॉवर लिफ्टिंगमध्ये आता खूप प्रोग्रेस. नाटक आहे जसं आपलं मराठ्यांची गौरवगाथा आहे, एक नाटक आहे, ते सुद्धा चालू असतं. प्रवीण देशमुख ते लीड करत असतं. तर
यूट्यूबला आहे की
फोटो काढ फक्त त्याचा.
निसर्ग हा जसं सुंदर आहे तसं तो रुद्र पण आहे. जशी त्याची सुंदरता आहे तशी त्याची भयानकता सुद्धा आहे. मग त्याच्या सुंदरतेचा आनंद घेत असताना त्याला घाबरा सुद्धा. नदीच्या काठावर तुम्ही उभं राहा, याचा आनंद घ्या, पण त्याची मस्ती करू नका. जर तुमचा पाय घसरला तर
कभी कोई नहीं पूछता.
काळजी तर वाटतेच ना ती. शेवटी मुलं आहेत आपली सगळी, ती परत आली पाहिजे जागेवर. हे जेव्हा सतत असतात तेव्हा ती त्या माणसाला वाचवलं जातं ते स्वतः जीव घेण्यात लागले.
हा जसं
ऑलरेडी काहीतरी झालं असतं आणि तिथे तुम्ही जाता पुन्हा टीमला पण रिस्क असते. पण
24 तास आणि 12ही महिने लागलेले असतात. मग ह्याचं फंडिंग वगैरे तुम्ही कसं मॅनेज करता? होतं जसं होतं नाहीतर आम्ही मॅनेज करतोच. सो ते कोणालाही म्हटलं की ॲटलिस्ट तुम्ही अपील करत जा किंवा सांगत जा की रिक्वायरमेंट असते. ॲटलिस्ट लोकांना माहिती इट्स लाईक दॅट कारण की त्याचे इक्विपमेंट्सच किती एक्सपेन्सिव्ह असतात. त्यांचे रोप्स किती हजारो रुपयाचे त्यांचे रोप्स असतात. The harnesses and all that are very very expensive. So without asking म्हणजे इतकं नम आहे एकदम पाणी
कसं काय ते करतात?
फॅमिली पाहून घे.
सो डॅम्स खूप डीप आहेत आणि बऱ्याच वेळा लोकांनी ड्रिंक केलेलं असतं, त्यामुळे वाचण्याचे चान्स खूप कमी असतात. खूप कमी टायमात असं होतं की रेस्क्यू करावं लागतो, पण रेस्क्यू करणं हे डेट टू इफेक्ट मला तिथे पोहोचणं. फंडिंग सध्या असं कधी कोणी केलं तर करतो, पण मोस्ट ऑफ द टाईम आम्ही सगळे मिळून. हां प्रत्येकाचा जॉब वगैरे वेगळा आहे, प्रत्येकाचे बिझनेस वेगळे आहेत आणि ती सांभाळून सगळे करतो. हां सो टीममध्ये समजा आज मी नसेल तर बाकी टीम असेल. मी 2 वर्षामध्ये नव्हतो म्हणजे तरी टीमसाठी.
आता याच्या पुढचा कार्यक्रम नक्कीच इंटरेस्टिंग.
Yeah, this program has nothing to do with Pathare Prabhu, except that the speaker is Pathare Prabhu. I've been doing Shami Kapoor, not exactly this type, Shami Kapoor program on stage, and the first thing that people ask is, why Shami Kapoor? बाकीचे मेले का सगळे? I said, no. I must tell you why Shammi Kapoor. Because as a child, we coming from a very orthodox family, we were only allowed to go to the movie theater where the picture was like Ten Commandments and Bible and all that thing. So they, at going to school, I never thought that I am ever going to see a Hindi film at all, and I was not enamored also. But what happened was, I was in Wilson High School. My school period in 1956 to 1963, when I did my SSC, and while in around 1960s, three or four of my classmates, they went to Roxy to see a Shammi Kapoor film called Jungli. And after they came back, they told the whole class, they had bunked the school and they came back. They told the class while the teacher was not there that this is a fantastic film and the actor is too good. Now, I had never seen any Hindi film, so I was wondering what is so fantastic about it. Next time listening to this, another group of friends went to a Roxy. They were obviously in the school uniform, and although they bought the ticket, they were driven away by the doorkeeper. You have bunked the school, go, refunded the money. So the curiosity was more. So I said, now I must also get a try. So three, four of us, we did go to Roxy in our school uniform, bunking the school, and luckily the doorkeeper was not there. So we sat inside and saw Gandhi. And the teacher was mesmerized by Shammi Kapoor's acting, songs, etc. And that was my first film ever in theatre that I saw. Then, of course, I was not his fan or something, but I was very impressed. Now, if you remember, the Alakka Theatre is about 5 minutes walk from my school. So his next film was Professor, and that was premiered at Alanka. So I went and saw that. Then I started liking Shammi Kapoor. By the time, after 1963, when I cleared school and went to college, then there was no such restriction. You could bunk at your whenever you wanted to. And I started seeing Shammi Kapoor films after that. But at the same time, the old films which I had missed before Janvi, some of them came into the matinee and I saw them. And I somehow just started liking him. And then I started dressing like him. I started my hairstyle like him. To the extent that my friends started saying, you are the Shammi Kapoor that you spoke to. So that also impressed me. But being a hardcore collector, I have been going to Chor Bazaar from around 1965 or something, and for various reasons. So ultimately, when I went to Chor Bazaar around, say, about 20 years ago, and I used to basically go for finding out any artifact or any historical material on city of Bombay, because that is my main collection which I have built up over a period of time. And क्या कुछ बॉम्बे का आया है क्या? अरे साहब बॉम्बे किधर, तुम्हारे पास सब है, हमारे पास देने के लिए कुछ नहीं. That was the general opinion about the dealers in Chor Bazaar. साहब अभी कोई फिल्म का चालू करो, बहुत मटेरियल आता है, फिल्म का चालू करो. Okay, I said alright. By that time I had already met Mr. Gorakshakar, and he was aware that I was collecting so many small things. And he had told me, Rajan, if you ever start any new collection, you must always keep certain parameters with you. First thing is, what is the budget you are going to allocate? Because you are collecting so many things. You are not Ambani or something that you can buy anything and everything. So what is the budget you are looking? Secondly, where are you going to source your material on that particular subject? Thirdly, you must always choose a subject which is very small and narrow. So keeping these parameters inside, I said, let me start thinking of recently, film ka tu chalu karo, kya karenge? I remember in the school I was so enamored with Shammi Kapoor. Why don't I start Shammi Kapoor? And that time there were about 4 or 5 shops in Chor Bazaar who were selling all film material. So I told him, Shammi Kapoor का कुछ आता है? हाँ आता है. क्या आपको interest है क्या? He said yes. So he started taking out and giving it to me. In the process, about a year's time, I finished off, bought everything on Shammi Kapoor that was available in Chor Bazaar. Then once I sent my friend to go to that shop and ask him Shammi Kapoor का कुछ. So he went there. अरे साहब कुछ नहीं, एक वकील साहब है ना, आता है वो सब लेके गया. So I knew that now nothing is left for other people to buy. So that's how I started building up. Now the question is, Shammi Kapoor was just collect, what exactly are you going to collect? So then I found out. First I said I'll go to the Google and find out how many films Shammi Kapoor has acted in. Then I found that he started his film career in 1953 with the film Jeevan Jyoti. And as a hero, he acted last for Chote Sarkar in 1974. So I knew my spectrum. This is the area in which my material is going to be found. Because I'm not interested in Shammi Kapoor after he stopped doing this main role, he became judge and the father-in-law and everything. I'm not interested. Then I found out what is the material exactly I'm going to buy. What is Shammi Kapoor material? So I scanned through all those 4 or 5 shops and found that there are posters, film posters. Okay? Then there are song books. There are 2 types of song books. When the film was released, there was a very cheap song book where all the songs of the film were mentioned there and they used to sell it for 1 ana. And then when 1957 when the metric system came, 10 paisa, and 1 ana में जाती जाते थे, 10 paisa and all that. Then I said, what else can I collect? Then they said, sir, ये lobby card भी है. What is lobby card? Then I found out that lobby card means in those days we did not have multiplexes and we did not have a theatre where in the morning there is one film, afternoon another film. Once the film starts, it starts for the whole day. And till the time we see the release film is 25 weeks film. So then I found out that when you enter the theatre and you pass through the corridor before you enter the auditorium, there are certain pictures which are put up of the film which is running in the auditorium, and those pictures, actual still photographs, are mounted on a cardboard with the name of the film, producer, director, and with information. And that totality was called a lobby card. So then I started collecting lobby cards. Then what else? Then I found that at a couple of places when I went to Madras for actually stamp exhibition, there was a dealer who was selling the duplicate. Duplicate is not copy, not double. It's a copy because one copy of the censor certificate is with the producer and other copy is kept for your office record. So those copies of the censor certificates were also available. So then I started collecting that also. Then I found that there are a lot of private photographs. Private in the sense, suppose a film makes 25 weeks, then there is a function. I'll come with a coffee table book or whatever. But I wanted to do little research because I found out that Shammi Kapoor from 1953 to 1957, that is from Jeevan Jyoti to Hum Sab Sho Rahe, he out of the 58 total films he acted, 18 films, his first 18 films were flops, complete flop. And what is the definition of a flop? That a film does not run 25 weeks is a flop. And what is flop in Bombay? Flop everywhere. So film is all used to be released first in Bombay. Then the word used to go, अच्छा है film, चला. Then everywhere all over India it will run. Bombay आया बेकार film है फेंक दो. खलास. Then all over India you are told that it's a bad film and it's gone. In the process, all the publicity material like your posters and these lobby cards and everything is thrown away out of desperation. To find out that is really for a collector to really work for. And I found that over a period of time, to find out the material of those 18 flop films was really taking me to places, not physically, but otherwise. I found material from Kanpur, Lucknow, Allahabad, Pakistan, in Lahore, and in US. So these are the places where everything was scattered. Now all those people who have contacted know that I am looking for that material. So whenever it comes, they sell it to me. At times I get cheap, at times I do something this. Now let me come to Shammi Kapoor. Shammi Kapoor is, I don't know. And why he went to college? Because he eventually wanted to become an aeronautical engineer. Imagine a Kapoor aeronautical engineer. In the first year he realized that the college is the best place and the best place is the canteen and not the lecturer. So he actually went to India college. Imagine a father, when Shammi Kapoor said, "Father, give me fees, I want to join India college." He said, "Are you crazy?" Kapoor joins the college. I got my 50th year, better join there and do this. What are you doing? I was interested in classical music. So they had a Pandit ji coming in teaching the mother, and that's why I wanted to take Madhubala. So I said, and I want to act in that film. Will you pray for me? I said, okay, I will pray anything. I don't have to say anything. I'll pray for you. And now you're a big boy, I can't do that. You ask something else. He said, okay, do me one favor, give me a radiogram. Now, radio and gramophone was a new invention that time. He said, okay, come on, sit in the car. They go to Fountain, go to HMV shop. He buys a big radiogram. I got a photograph of red color. He said, now what am I going to do with radiogram? You don't want records? I said, yes, let's go to Rhythm House. They go a little further and he said, you buy any 20 records. He goes there. By that time, he was already a Elvis Presley fan. So
So he bought rock and roll and all those records he bought. And he himself said that I used to play those records, practice there. I got some more records, etc. So this is one aspect of Shammi Kapoor. That before he entered the film in 1953, he was already already started dancing on his own without any teaching. Shammi Kapoor was a voracious reader, and he was a mad reader for the simple reason. Have you heard of anybody that you read the book and as you keep on reading, you start tearing off the pages? You don't have a bookmark. You don't know how much you have read yesterday. You don't want to put a bookmark. No. So he doesn't have to read that again. So therefore he started tearing the page. But he had a big library. He was a very great adventurer. He was a shikari. I'm just telling you what is Shammi Kapoor made of before he entered the film. He was a shikari. He used to go on shikars. At that time, I think the father was, the moment he became 18 years old, he was given the WW Greener and all those other assault rifles, guns and all that. So he used to go with shikari. That was in 1953. Imagine, I'm going to go Shammi Kapoor's vlog. The first film, there was a heroine which was no future chance, also making a debut. And too much in life as well. He knew Lonavala is having an affair with Dilip Kumar. Still he is trying to do her, trying to take her. He actually took her, his father used her as if he is introducing sort of his girlfriend or something. In that. That film also, again, in spite of Lonavala, no. Next of the film is Laila Majnun. Offer came. Now the offer came also thanks to Mr. Devanand, because ultimately it was decided by Filmistan that they are going that fellow fainted there. So we said, so now the question was that, and they said Devanand said, who's the heroine? Amita. Who's Amita? So and so. No. Either get Vajanti Mala, Meena Kumari or Madhubala. Otherwise I'm not acting. So Mukherjee said, all right. Don't roll around, let us change Amita. No, change the hero. No changing the heroine. Heroine is. Shammi Kapoor. So Nazir Hussain was making his debut as a director. So please Baba, don't take Shammi Kapoor. 18 flops. If this flops, it will be just 19 flop, but this will be my first flop as a director. Nobody will ever take me as a director. That time Mukherjee came and said, what Shammi Kapoor you are seeing in those 18 films is not the Shammi Kapoor the man. We are not in a hurry. Now we have fixed that Amita is going to be the heroine. We are not in any rush to make this film. You go and become Shammi Kapoor's friend. Start knowing how he lives. What is he? Become his friend. Jabardasti. So Nazir Hussain did that. And then he found that Shammi Kapoor is not the one which you see that Laila Majnun, Pathare. He is a man who is a young man, energetic and dancing and everything. And then he said, अरे आपल्याला ह्याला तर ओपिनियनचं म्युझिक आहे म्हणजे फॅन्टॅस्टिक ऑल स्कोप फॉर डान्सिंग. So he said that yes, now I'm going to do it. But before that, when the offer came to him, Shammi Kapoor said, I don't want. Gitabaji said, look, who is offering you? There are just opinions. Listen to that music track. Then he already song delay. Listen to the track. And then you decide. But she said, you have to make one change. So when you have a successful man, there's a wife behind him. This is the wife behind him. He said, your appearance, you have to change. You are considered to be a duplicate of Raj Kapoor. You are not Raj Kapoor at all in any form. Change your appearance. First, give you the moustache. Moustache doesn't suit you. Secondly, give a crook cut. हे सगळे असे लैला मजनू सारखे ते मजनूचे हे काढून टाक. Go away with the no central party, side party. So when he did that, he became one of the most handsome heroes of that time, in my opinion. People will differ. People will still say Devanand was anyway. So he became so handsome, and there lies the trick of Nazir Hussain. He tried to introduce Shammi Kapoor not as a veteran of 18 flops, as if he's a new actor, which actually was a new persona. So what he does is, if you remember, anybody has seen Tulsa Nahi Dekha? Raise hands. Oh, quite a few people. Notice, first song is Jawani Aaye Mast Mast Binti, right? That is the entry point of Shammi Kapoor. What does the director do? When the music starts, the camera is on his feet. Tan ta tan ta tan 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 ta tan ta tan tan ta 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 ta. So that this with music, the camera goes up, and when Jawani Aaye ha word to karto teva focus comes on, and people are, oh my God, this is Shammi Kapoor. That was the reaction. And then, of course, that film absolutely did well, thanks to Devanand, because if he was to act, I don't know, film could have flopped, but Shammi Kapoor would have become an estate manager in Assam for certain. So, thereafter, then people realize the value of Shammi Kapoor as a dancer. In Tulsa Ne Dekha, he has got little shaking of the body, but he's not a dancer like a club dancer, which he became later on. So, but the producers started asking the writers to write stories which have got lot of dance sequences. And in my opinion, if you people, after I tell you this, please go and see Dil De Ke Dekho again. There was a time in these 18 flops where there were certain films where there was not a single song to Shammi Kapoor.
नमस्ते, माझं नाव रत्नमाला धुरंधर आहे. मागच्या 4 दिवसापासून आपल्याकडे लोणावळ्यामध्ये पाठारे प्रभू फेस्टिवल सेरेनिटी रिसॉर्टमध्ये आयोजित केलेलं आहे. आज हा 4था दिवस. पहिल्या दिवशी सर्वात आधी इंद्रायणी देवी जी पाठारे प्रभूंची एक कुल देवी आहे, स्पेशली धुरंधर फॅमिलीची, त्यांचं आपण स्थापना केली. त्याच्यानंतर अभंगवाणींनी चा डान्स झाला स्मृती तळपदेचा. खूपच सुंदर, अगदी मेस्मरायझिंग असं अगदी ॲटमॉस्फिअर क्रिएट झालं. म्हणजे एक स्पिरिच्युअल लेवलचा कार्यक्रम मी म्हणते की झाला. त्याच्यानंतर दुसऱ्या दिवशी आपले सांस्कृतिक प्रोग्राम झाले, लोकल डान्सेस वगैरे झाले. आणि सकाळचं जो आहे बियॉन्ड भुजनं भात, जो आमचं स्टेपल डाएट आहे, आम्ही म्हणतो की भुजनं भात एक प्रेपरेशन आहे, लाईक करी अँड राईस, त्याप्रमाणे त्याच्या बियॉन्ड जाऊन किती एज्युकेशन आणि एज्युकेटेड सगळा क्लास आहे. यू हॅव टू जस्ट एडिट दिस. तर बियॉन्ड भुजनं भात हा म्हणजे आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स एवढे अकम्प्लिशमेंट जे केलेले त्यांचं थोडंसं लाईफ टाईम शेअरिंग झाले. त्याच्यानंतर लावणीचा कार्यक्रम झाला. ब्रह्मकुमारीजनी पण 3 मिनिटाचा मेडिटेशनचा कार्यक्रम घेतलेला. त्याच्यानंतर जो आपला फूड आहे, जेवणामध्ये पण 4 दिवसाची वेगवेगळी व्हरायटी होती, जी पाठारे प्रभूंचं फेवरेट आणि फेमस डिशेस आहेत. जसं करंदीचे पातवड, वेगवेगळ्या टाईपचे फिश प्रिपरेशन, जसं भुजनाचं प्रिपरेशन आमचं खडखडलं असतं, सांजुरी असते, वगैरे 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 भरपूर काही आयटम्स. 4ही दिवस अगदी मेजवानी झालेली आहे. वेगवेगळ्या सगळ्यांनी सगळ्यांना खूप आवडलं आणि सगळ्यांनी खूप अप्रिशिएट केलेलं आहे. असं वी हॅव ऍक्च्युली क्रिएटेड हिस्ट्री. 1938 मध्ये लास्ट फेस्टिवल झालेला, त्याच्यानंतर आता झालाय 86 वर्षानंतर. तेव्हा माझ्या आजी होत्या त्या ऑर्गनायझिंग मध्ये, आणि मला खरंच खूपच अभिमान वाटतो की आता आम्ही हे केले अँड वी हॅव ऍक्च्युली क्रिएटेड हिस्ट्री अगेन. अँड आता पालखी आहे इंद्रायणी देवीची आणि आम्ही कंप्लीट करू त्याच्यानंतर हा प्रोग्राम. थँक्यू सो मच.
जीवनदायिनी तू तरंगिणी धुरंधरांची यशशी कुलस्वामिनी प्रभु ज्ञानी जन जमले तुझिया चरणी धाव पावगे अमुचे आई तुझ्या पालखीचे आम्हीच भोई तेजस्विनी हे इंद्रायणी जीवनदायिनी तू तरंगिणी धुरंधरांची यशशी कुलस्वामिनी प्रभु ज्ञानी जन जमले तुझिया चरणी धाव पावगे आमची आई तुझ्या पालखीचे आम्हीच भोई तेजस्विनी हे इंद्रायणी जीवनदायिनी तू तरंगिणी धुरंधरांची यशशी कुलस्वामिनी प्रभु ज्ञानी जन जमले तुझिया चरणी धावता हे इंद्रायणी जीवनदायिनी तू तरंगिणी धुरंधरांची यशशी कुलस्वामिनी प्रभु ज्ञानी जन जमले तुझिया चरणी धाव पाव गे अमुचे आई तुझ्या पालखीचे आम्हीच भोई तेजस्विनी हे इंद्रायणी जीवनदायिनी तू तरंगिणी धुरंधरांची यशशी कुलस्वामिनी प्रभु ज्ञानी जन जमले
आणि खरंच किती छान वाटलं धुरंधर कुठून आले
किती सुंदर
अगदी छानच.
डोळ्याचे भाव
अगदी कान वगैरे ना अगदी बापरे. थँक्यू सो मच.
आता इथे फोटो
येस